Everybody out there on YouTube and Facebook, right now I am showing you guys all of my Casio keyboards that I own today. I had plenty more, but I sold them or traded them, but these are all the Casio keyboards out here. There's 26 of them, and also a drum machine right there. So it's 25 keyboards and one drum machine. So let's get started because we have a lot to talk about. This over here, this is the LD50 4-padded lighted drum machine. I got this for $1 at a thrift store, and they didn't even know if it worked. So I took it home for $1, and this thing sounds really good. So I have to do a separate video on it. It's really nice. Okay, over here we have the Casio SK1. This keyboard started it all when it came to sampling. I mean, in basically any instrument. This keyboard had samples. You could do anything on there. I think it had basically like 8 instruments on it, and you could sample your own. I used to see professional DJs have 2 or 3 of these. And I'm like, these are Casio keyboards. Why would you have that? The sampling technology is really cool on this. All right, here is the first Casio keyboard that actually focused on the dance groove machines and everything. This is the Rap 1. They call it the Rapman 1. This over here has a selection of instruments and rhythms, plus you have a scratch pad and sound effect pads on it, which is really cool. 32 mid-size keys on both of these. Okay. Over here, moving right along, this is the Casio SA20. This kind of broke the rules because it had PCM sounds, so you had real sounds on there. You had sound effects. You had 2 speakers. The demo was George Michael's "Wake Me Up Before You Go," and you have 100 voices on here, which is really cool. Plus, you have different rhythms dealing with the keys. All right, over here. This over here is the SA35. This is more of a simpler version of the SA, mostly made for kids and everything. Well, both of them were, but this is more simpler. And it had like different kind of play sounds and sound effects and tones on there. But it was really cool for what it was. All right. Speaking of the SA20, this is his bigger brother, or I should say younger brother, I should say. The SA39, and this is the same thing as the SA20. The only difference about it is that you have drum pads and you have 5 demos. So basically the same machine. Here's a Casio that actually started it all when it came to digital synthesizers and synthesis modes when people were getting crazy with synthesizers. This is the CZ101. I got this for $30 at a thrift store, and it's in mint condition, so I'm still learning how to work it. This keyboard is unbelievable. All right, moving right along because we have a lot to talk about. This over here, this is the MT70, and this has 49 mid-size keys, and it has 1 speaker. It has a lesson feature right over here, so it actually has a guide bar on top. It has around 10 instruments and 10 rhythms, which is really cool. All right, right over here, this is the MT100. This is basically takes the left off of the MT70. Same amount, you have basically 20 instruments on here, 10 rhythms, and it has an equalizer, graphic equalizer, which is basically for your sound. So you can modify those sounds just like on the CZ101. So I thought that was pretty cool. Alright, so moving from the MT100, you have the MT205. Now, this one and the next keyboard I'm going to show you, they have the same features. This has 16 rhythms, 16 instruments, but in the middle you have a rhythm modifier. So actually you could change and modify all those rhythms to how you want it. Plus, these are both of the models that I'm going to show you, like this right over here and this over here. This is the MT520. They both had drums. Well, this one has drum pads, but they had drumsticks that you can actually hit up in the air and play, which I thought was really cool. Okay. By the way, both of those do the same features, except for, well, they do the same features, plain and simple. This over here, this is a Casio MT240. I have its bigger version, which I'll show you later on. This has 20 rhythms, 20 sounds, 210 sound tone bank, PCM. 2 speakers, it's unbelievable. So, here's its other brother, which is the MT540. So you got the 240 and you got the 540. And the 540 has sound effects. So it's the same thing as the 240. Some of the instruments are a little bit different, but it's the exact same thing. Okay? Getting back to the MT205, here's a CT brother. This is the CT360. And it's basically the same thing as this, without the rhythm modifier and also without the drum pads, and one speaker. Okay, now getting back to the MT540, this is a CT brother. This is the CT 460, and this has a little bit more features. You got rhythm volume, you have 465 tone bank, and it has better speaker quality, and it's basically a bigger version. Okay, and from the MT240, this is its bigger brother. This is the CT640, which you have 465 tone bank, you have 30 sounds, you have 20 rhythms, you got more MIDI capabilities, and you have a more professional casing of the look. So I thought that was really cool. Okay, so from this, now the next keyboard I'm going to show you is the same thing as the CT640, but over here, this is the CT650. And this is the same exact thing. The only thing about it is that you have a different demo of the piano demo of Richard Clayderman, and also you have a whole tone bank list on top. So that's when they started putting the tone bank list on. Next one you have, this is the CT638, and this is the same thing as this. Some of the instruments are a little bit different, and you get newer style rhythms, which is on the next flagship keyboard that I'm going to show you. So basically all the same features of this, except for no MIDI. No MIDI on this one. Okay, over here, this is the CT670, and with the CT670, you have the newer rhythm styles, which is on here, and also you have 110 rhythm beats, 220 sound tone bank. You have a tone editor, so you can have different kind of detune, release, attack, delays, and you have a sequencer, which is one-track sequencer, and you have 2 intros, 2 endings. Really cool. Plus a pitch bending wheel, which they added. Alright, so the next keyboard I'm going to show you is the same thing as the CT670, but you probably won't be able to find one of these ever. Ever. If you do, you're lucky. This is a very rare model. This is a CT X1, and it's the same thing as a CT670, plus you have a little bit of features of the CT680, which is the reverb, and you have better speaker systems, you have better MIDI compatibility. Sorry, I'm stuttering. I have lots to talk about, and better key action on the keys. So this is actually the same thing as a CT670, but more professional. Plus the lid flips up. All right, now this I got in mint condition, and you'll probably be able to find one of these, but not in mint condition. This over here, this is the CTK. This is the first CTK line. This is CTK 1000. You have 100 tones, 100 rhythms, and you have variations to those rhythms. Plus, the tones are a little bit more pumped up. An IXA sound source. And I got this brand new in a box, and it still has the plastic on it. Okay, moving right along. This over here, this was the second generation of the WK line. This over here, this is actually the this is the third generation of the WK line. This is the WK1350, which took place off of the WK1250. So the 1350 has a darker case. It has 73 keys, not 76, but 73. It's a bigger casing, very powerful speaker system, and it's pretty neat for what it does. The rhythms on there are really, really cool. Alright, let me see if I can get myself out of this mess. This was over here. I think this is the 7th generation. Both of these are the 7th generation of WKs. This over here, this is WK3800. Brand spanking new, mint condition. And this you have, see if I can see it over here. You have, it says 903 voices. That's included with the user voices and the drum kits. 76 keys, you have SD card, and the next keyboard that I'm going to show you is basically the same thing as the 3800, but it has more keys. Over here, this is my second one actually. So this one is a little bit better because the first one didn't work that much. This is a WK8000. This one is a mint condition, and I couldn't believe I found one in mint condition. So not only I got the 88 key version, but I got the 76 key version too. And this does exactly the same thing as the 3800, except the 3800 has a floppy disk drive. which is really cool. This one doesn't have a floppy disk drive, and this one has 88 keys and a more powerful speaker system. Plus, this is supposed to come with a stand and a pedal. Now, I am going to show you, this is one of my newest babies. This is the Casio XWG1 Groove Synthesizer. Actually, they call it a hybrid processing sound source. So this is their dance machine. Kind of takes place of the Rap 1 and the CZ101. And a lot of these Casios that you see here, you can modify instruments. This is their professional synthesizer. Alright. There's a lot to talk about with these Casios. Now, last but not least, my baby. This over here, and there's a weed growing right next to it. But this over here, this is my Casio MZ2000. This, you probably will not be able to find another one of these. If you do, you're very lucky. I got this in mint condition with the manual and everything. And I tell you, I don't let that many people play on this. Just to say. Not that many people come over my house and play on this keyboard. Because this keyboard is very rare, and the sound of it is unbelievable. There was a rumor about this keyboard that the Technics and the Roland Company helped make it. I can hear some of the sounds on it, but this is more Casio. And I wish if Casio came out with a newer model of this, including with the WK8000, put those two together and you have such a monster machine. But you can see them. Every one of these say Casio. These are all of my Casio units out here. And I thank you guys for joining me on looking at all my Casio keyboards. I'm going to get them inside because right now you can see there's clouds out here. Looks like it's going to rain a little bit, but I hope not. So I'm going to put them back in their places. And of course I'm going to take the expensive ones in first. Put them back. But yeah, this is my Casio collection. Write me back if you want to hear any of these models. Just write me back, and I'm going to do videos on every single one of these models. And there's going to be more, because I saw on Craigslist a Casio WK1350 for a very low price, so I might end up snatching that. But yeah, this is it. Okay, everybody. I'm Kris Nicholson, and thank you for joining me. Have a nice day.